evening and welcome to the Thai PBS World. The amount of PM 2.5 in Bangkok is beyond standard still, even though it's reduced in the past 2 days because of the rain. But overall, in the past 14 days, the amount of PM 2.5 is beyond standard. But to what level and to the extent that Thai people are aware of the situation, Thai PBS World asked Professor Dr. Siwat Pongpiachan, expert on PM 2.5 and air pollution.
Well, actually, I have been doing for this research for more than 10 years. Go back to the period when after I completing my PhD from Birmingham University in UK, nobody even knows what is PM 2.5. So I think comparing to like 10 years ago, the public start to pay more attention on, especially for the particulate matters. Before PM10, we already know that the standard for 24 hours is not greater than 120 microgram per cubic meters. But nowadays, nobody talk about PM10 anymore. So people focusing on PM 2.5, and I will forecast for the next few years, people will not pay attention on PM 2.5 any longer, and people will start talking about PM10. Because the smaller, the greater the impact it will have for the health. So we are talking about the ultrafine particles. It's not only PM 2.5, but also the nanoparticles. No, we should focus on the entire range of PM. So in each range of particulate matters, they do have their own roles. For example, if you are talking about the long-range atmospheric transportations or transboundary pollutions, PM10 is the most suitable one. Okay, not PM 2.5 or not PM 1.0, because the smaller one will tend to be affected by the wind and not make it traveling any longer. And the heavier one, like TSP, total suspended particles, will be easily to be dry deposit in the source. And that's why the middle one, which is PM10, tends to be traveling longer. So that's, if you are talking about the long-range atmospheric transportation or transboundary pollutions, PM10 is the most suitable one.
The Pollution Control Department reported today that only 7 areas in Bangkok and its suburbs were found to have excessive amounts of PM 2.5 dust. The levels of PM 2.5 particulate this morning were measured between 27 and 57 microns. The situation in the northern provinces of Lampang and Chiang Mai, however, is deteriorating. Officials in Lampang said that the province has been shrouded in a blanket of white smoke for 9 continuous days, with most of the area listed as orange zones, except in Mueang district, which is listed as a red zone, with the PM 2.5 dust level being measured at 92 microns. In Chiang Mai province, Governor held a meeting with officials for a briefing on the measures to be taken to deal with the pollution caused mainly by the burning of farm waste and forest fires, and compounded by the high air pressure all over the northern region. But there must be questions whether dust problems in Bangkok is from Chiang Mai.
This question is very difficult, and that's why we have what we call, in terms of atmospheric chemistry, we call it source apportionment technique, because the source is not constant at all time. Okay, for example, in Bangkok, we already know that more than 70% of PM 2.5 came from traffic emissions. Okay, that's the research, and I found something pretty similar. But that doesn't mean that next year or next 2 years or next 10 years, this proportion will be the same. So it's not constant. Okay, it depends on the wind directions. It also depends if the wind blows from other sources, from our neighboring countries that they have forest fires. In that period, it could be a trans-boundary pollution. And then traffic emissions may not be the single source for the PM2.5. So it depends, it's like case by case. And air pollution is something very dynamic. For example, in Chiang Mai, for the burning season, start from January to March and at the beginning of April, it's pretty obvious that biomass burning is the major sources. But if you are considering to the rest of the period for the entire years, based on my studies, what I have found is traffic emissions still play an important role in controlling the PM2.5 level, especially for carcinogenic substances. We call it polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAH.
Today, a group of students rallied in front of Government House to protest what they allege is complacency and inaction by the government and related agency in addressing the problem. Although the government declared the PM2.5 dust problem a national agenda on February 12 last year, the problem has returned this year. And so far, not a single state agency or the government have announced any measures to address it, according to the students who rallied today. They said that their demonstration today is to demand that the government and state agencies concerned roll out contingency and long-term measures to cope with the dust, not just in Bangkok and its suburbs, but also in other provinces. Professor Siwat Pongpiachan has recommendation for policy to tackle the dust problem in the long term.
Definitely, this kind of issue cannot be solved by top-down policy. The government should listen to the voice of people. This should be the bottom-up legislation, all right? Because the solutions for air pollution problems in Chiang Mai, in Bangkok, and in Phuket will be totally different. So it's like we cannot have a suit with the same size for every single citizen. It's impossible. So we should go to the place, to the areas that they have the problems, and then listen to the voice of people, and then engage to many stakeholders. Yeah, it should be area-based studies, and listen to what they can do, what the government can do for them. I'm pretty sure that nowadays, even the people who burn, the biomass burning, they already know that burning is not good for their health, but they still burn. Because they have to, exactly, yes. Because the government doesn't have a solution package for them. Yes, so now, after burning, a lot of air pollutants get into our lungs. I mean, every single citizen's lungs. And that's including the carcinogenics, mutagenics, and also the heavy metals are accumulated in all bodies. So once if you are sick, who pay for the medical treatment? We have to take care of ourselves. And that's definitely is not fair.
And to solve immediate situation, the government is planning to propose alternate day ban for trucks to reduce road air pollution. And that's all from Thai PBS World tonight.